The best Dragon Ball movie ever. So I just got back from watching Dragon Ball Super Superhero in IMAX, and I can say without a doubt that this is the best Dragon Ball Super movie for a normal person. Here's what I mean. I went to watch this film with 3 other friends who had all come with me to watch the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie back in 2019. 2 of them know nothing about Dragon Ball, and the other one only ever watched bits of Z. Now for some context, the 2 friends who knew nothing about Dragon Ball absolutely hated DBS Broly because of the 40-minute fight sequence at the end. To them, it felt way too long and eventually got them bored from all the fighting, so they went into this movie wanting to completely shit on it too, but upon leaving the theatre, their perception of Dragon Ball had completely shifted. They went from haters to lovers with just this one movie, and it's because this one had moments in between the giant ending fight sequence to allow people to slow down and breathe, and because of that, they were actually into the fight and excited to see the outcome. Now what do I think of the movie as a Dragon Ball fan? I think it was absolutely amazing, and we really need to see more movies like this that give love to characters other than Goku and Vegeta, who by the way, were in this movie for about 15 minutes max. Now spoiler warning right now because I'm going to be getting into the real juicy part of the movie, so there you go. But let's be honest, you've all had the plot of the movie spoiled for you, am I right? Anyways, Dragon Ball Super Superhero is honestly a Piccolo movie more than it is a Gohan movie, which was surprising as they seem to feature Gohan as the main lead of this film in all the trailers. But in reality, the movie unfolds from Piccolo's perspective and it's a great change of pace. Now before I talk about the plot, I need to speak on the CGI animation style. For this movie, it worked so well and it looked amazing, especially on Cell Max. However, characters like Whis did get done very dirty by this art style as they just looked a bit too off model and off colour, especially with Whis, who looked a bit too much like he had a chewing gum meal at Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. But other than that, the CGI style looked great in this movie. It's annoying though because all the flashbacks and reintroductions were done in the 2D style and looked so good. But it didn't take me out of the movie at all. I still absolutely loved it. Now let's talk about the plot. The movie was paced really well in my opinion. Nothing felt like it was rushed at all. My only gripe would be the car scene with Magenta and Hedo dragged on for a little too long, but they made sure to use as many different camera angles as possible to provide visual stimulus for such a simple scene. I also love that we got an explanation for Dr. Hedo's origin as the grandson of Gero, and it also revealed that Android 16 was modeled after one of Gero's sons, and Android 21 was modeled after Gero's wife, making her design officially canon to the Dragon Ball series. The stuff with Piccolo teaching Pan how to use her powers was great. I was so worried she was going to be like her GT counterpart, but she wasn't annoying at all. She was capable and charming and adorable, and I especially loved how well she remained in character during the fake kidnapping. One inconsistency with this movie, however, is the fact that Pan is unable to fly until the very end, which doesn't make a single bit of sense, as in Super, when she was just a baby, she managed to fly all the way into the stratosphere carrying the entire Pilaf gang, and there were many gags involving her flying throughout the rest of that series. You're telling me that she just forgot how to do that in the last 3 years? Flying is like walking for a sane child, you don't just forget how to do it once you do it. It's not her fault though, the writers probably forgot she could do that considering how it's been like 4 years since Dragon Ball Super ended. Anyways, I really liked how Piccolo was not okay with Gohan being a negligent parent like Goku and was actively telling Gohan to be more involved in his daughter's life. Now let's talk about the Gammas. These 2 were an absolutely amazing addition to the Dragon Ball roster, Gamma 2 especially. I initially thought I would find him annoying, but I actually ended up finding him to be a ton of fun and really charismatic. His battle with Piccolo was a great one early into the movie and wrapped up pretty quickly with a satisfying ending, allowing for Piccolo to sneak into the Red Ribbon HQ. Also, my prediction of their HQ having a cloaking field on it like Wakanda was spot on. They actually introduced the concept of Cell Max really early into the movie, and Piccolo wasted no time contacting Bulma to try and call Goku and Vegeta from Beerus' planet. So let's talk about Goku and Vegeta's very small part of the movie. I thought the Beerus' planet stuff was great. It wasn't any longer than it needed to be, and it provided us with all the information we needed without the use of a single transformation. Broly is still working on mastering his legendary Super Saiyan power with Goku's help, and Vegeta is now trying to train his mind to move more efficiently the way Jiren did. Now, we didn't actually end up seeing Broly fight Goku even though it was in the trailers, so I guess that must have been cut to make way for the Goku Vegeta battle. But we did get to see some interesting interactions between Beerus and Broly's companions, making Lemmo his new chief of cooking and having a hilarious childlike crush on Chilai. But unlike with Master Roshi, it didn't come across as creepy in any way, and it was cool to see Beerus be so nice to other people, like letting Lemmo come to watch the Goku and Vegeta fight instead of cleaning the dishes. It's cool to see his softer side come out now and then. Now the Goku Vegeta fight was all that it really needed to be to remain ambiguous for the stuff in between the Granola arc and the movie, as it has no transformations or energy blast, so unfortunately we didn't get to see Yui animated, but this isn't their movie, so we got all we needed from them. Back to the main plot, Piccolo only managed to get 2 senzu beans from Korin, which makes no sense. Like, honestly, how is he out? His job is to make them, so what the hell? Now, since Goku and Vegeta aren't here, Piccolo decides that he needs to get stronger, so I like how he uses already established abilities to do that, having Shenron draw out his potential and a bit more, which we'll get into later. But again, it was annoying watching Bulma waste the 2 wishes on some cosmetic surgery, but oh well. It makes sense for the character. Now, I absolutely loved every part of the kidnapping sequence. Pan was so cute and a great actress as well, and I loved how the second she didn't need to act anymore, she just goes straight for the cookies. Also, I love how Gohan got so angry about Pan's kidnapping that he destroys the foundations of his house with no hesitation to intimidate the soldier. Now, after all this is said and done, the remaining 45 minutes of the movie is technically a huge action sequence, but unlike the Broly movie, there were a lot of non-action moments in between the fighting to give people time to breathe in between. Gohan vs Gamma 1 was great and didn't take too long to transition into the inclusion of Gamma 2, who Piccolo takes on, and I love how during this 2v2 fight, the 2 Gammas are slowly starting to question things more and don't waste any time in denial either once they come to see Magenta's true colors. And speaking of colors, can we please just take a moment to appreciate orange fucking Piccolo? Oh my god, this was actually my favorite transformation of the film, even more than Gohan Beast, but we'll get into him later. He is an absolute menace to society, and there is no doubt in my mind that Giga Chad inspired his face design. Also, the antenna sticking up like Super Saiyan hair was a great touch to his design to change up a bit more. All in all, an absolute banger of a transformation. I mean, yellow Piccolo was okay, but orange Piccolo is what I'm talking about. Now, after the whole exchange between Magenta and Hito, which was actually rather funny, we begin the release of Cell Max. In this time, the Gammas switch sides, and Bulma even brings the newly grown up Goten and Trunks and Android 18. Oh yeah, and Krillin's here. I also liked how Android 18 takes note of the new androids, but I wish she interacted with them more directly and also brought back 17 for this fight, because he's stronger than everyone who was brought. But anyways, Cell Max is finally released, and he looks great in the CGI style. And I love that he's a giant kaiju that everyone has to fight. The fight is honestly amazing, with Gamma 2 especially being the standout and sacrificing himself to destroy one of Cell's arms. The entire scene looked amazing, and he is no doubt my favorite new character from this movie. Goten and Trunks were okay, having also done a failed fusion, but instead of waiting to redo the fusion properly, the movie actually just made do with fat Gotenks. Even Krillin managed to help. He saved 18 with a Destructo Disc, distracted Cell with a Solar Flare, and was the one who reminded Piccolo that he could grow big. It seems the one who was actually useless here was Android 18. By the way, giant orange Piccolo versus Cell Max was amazing. And that brings us to the final big moment of the film. Gohan Beast! Now of course, watching it in the cinema made it amazing, but don't think I didn't notice that the early stages of it was a rehashed version of the Super Saiyan 2 transformation. I understand it was a reference, but come on, couldn't have made it a bit more creative like Orange Piccolo? Also, not gonna lie, the design's a bit goofy because the hair is so ridiculously long, and I was astonished that they actually brought the fan dream of white-haired Gohan to life. Don't get me wrong, it's great watching it in the movie, but when you think about it later, you remember that this power-up wasn't really earned. It just kinda came out of nowhere, unlike with Super Saiyan Rage, which also came out of nowhere. However, it makes sense for Trunks having been pushed so far because he's been in constant battle for over a year now and never stopped training. But oh well, let's allow it because I love the movie and Gohan ending Cell with a special beam cannon as a tribute to his real dad was an amazing touch. Also, I liked how they did the same thing with Beast Gohan's voice as they did with the Super Saiyan 4 Goku voice. That was pretty cool. I saw it dubbed, by the way, and yeah, don't come at me, I don't care. But yeah, this fight was all in all an amazing work of animation, way better than I expected it to be. Not as good as Gogeta vs Broly, but then again, what can be? But all in all, the movie was absolutely excellent, and don't worry, a movie ranking list will be coming soon, so look forward to that. But what I will say is that this film is pretty high up there for me. Please go watch this film in theaters right now so that Toei know to make more movies like this that aren't too action focused all the time. This had the perfect balance between action and story and actually converted my Dragon Ball hater friends, and so I'll give this film a rating of amazing, saving the actual number for the ranking list. So go watch it right now, and if you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments. So once again, I appreciate you man taking your time to watch this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and bless.